हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल टेक्निकल धनश्री। आज की वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ एचटीटीपी स्टेटस कोड इन एपीआई टेस्टिंग। तो वीडियो को लास्ट तक ज़रूर देखिए, मैं सब कुछ अच्छी तरीके से एक्सप्लेन करने वाली हूँ। और अगर आप मेरे चैनल पर नए हो तो प्लीज़ वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए। मैं सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टिंग के जॉब्स भी डेली डालती हूँ, तो प्लीज़ चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए। तो चलिए वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। So in API testing, we have a different types of HTTP status code, like 100 series of status code, 200, 300, 400, 500 series of status code. So we are not use basically 100 series of status code because it is basically informational response status code. So we have not used. So next series is a 200 series. So 200 series is trying to say that whatever request you have make to the server, it is successful. So it is a 200 series of status code. So we have a different types of status code in 200 series, like 200, 201, 202, 204. First one is a 200. It is for OK. So whatever request you have made that going to the server and it is successfully, that time you are getting 200. So your request is successful. So next status code is 201 status code. It is for created. So it is trying to say that whatever request you have made a resource and a resource has been created in your database, if something is going to create, so it is a 201. So next status code is a 202. It is accepted, your request is accepted, so it's 202. Next status code is a 204. It is for a no content. So whenever you are hitting a API that going to successful, but in a return it is not give anything, so it is a 204. It is not give the content, so it's no content. Next series is a 400 series. सो अगर आपने वीडियो यहाँ तक देख लिया है तो प्लीज़ वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए। आपके एक लाइक और एक सब्सक्राइब से हमें मोटिवेशन मिलता है आपके लिए ऐसे न्यू वीडियो बनाने के लिए। तो प्लीज़ लाइक और सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर कर दीजिए और कमेंट में ज़रूर बताइए आपको वीडियो कैसा लगा, और अपने फ्रेंड्स को भी ज़रूर शेयर कीजिए। और मैंने डेली सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टिंग के जॉब्स के बारे में भी वीडियो डाली हुई है, मैं वीडियो की लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दे दूँगी, वो वीडियो भी आप देख लीजिए। तो चलिए अब नेक्स्ट सीरीज़ देखते हैं। नेक्स्ट सीरीज इज़ अ 400 सीरीज. सो इट इज़ अ बेसिकली client side error. So first one is a 400. It is for a bad request. So you are hitting the API and in the request body you are providing some data as like username, password, and to separate the username and password we are providing the comma. And in that case, if you are providing the two commas, so in that case it is a syntactical error. So in that case we are getting the 400 status code for the bad request. So next status code, it is a 401 status code. It is for a unauthorized. So if you are trying to log in API, let's take an example of Facebook application. So if you are trying to log in a Facebook application and you are providing a username and password, and which is wrong, so username and password are wrong, sometimes one of them wrong, sometimes both are them wrong, so that time you are getting a 401 status code. It is a unauthorized status code. So to avoid the 401 unauthorized status code, we just put the authorization key, or we just put the correct username and correct password, with the help of which we can resolve this issue, 401 unauthorized status code. So next status code is 402. It is for a payment required. So next one is 403. It is for forbidden. So in that 403 forbidden, server is recognized you, but you have not access. Let's take an example of it. Sometimes you are getting some pop-ups as like reset your password, then reset the password. If you are not reset your password and you are providing same username and password, you are getting a 403. So it is a forbidden. So server is recognize you, that is you are, but you have not access. So it is a 403. So next status code is a 404. It is for a page not found. So in that 404, you are trying to access a web page and you are entering the URL, but in the URL data is not correct. So as like we are enter the users, as like we provide users, but you are not provide the users and you just provide the user, so it is a error. So in that case you are getting a 404 page not found status code, because you are not provide the correct URL, so it is a give a 404 page not found status code. So next status code is a 405, it is for a method not allow. So next one is a 406, it is for a not acceptable. So next status code is a 407, it is for a proxy authentication required. After that 408, it is for a request timeout. So these all 400 series of status code is for the client error side status code. After that we have a 500 series of status code. So these 500 series of status code, it is for a server side error status code. So in that we have a 500 status code, it is for a internal server error status code. So whatever URL you are hitting and you are getting some exceptions, as like a null pointer exception, array out of bound exception. So these you are getting some exceptions, so it is a internal server error status code, so they are giving you a 500 status code. After that we have a 501 status code, it is for a not implemented status code. After that we have a 502 status code, it is for a bad gateway. So in that the server is down which you are trying to hit, that time you are getting a 502 status code, so it is basically for server down, so it is a bad gateway status code. After that we have a 503 status code, so it is for a server unavailable. So in that some particular time server is down or service is not available, that time you are getting a 503 status code, server unavailable status code. After that we have a 504 status code, so it is for a gateway timeout status code. So in that you are trying to hit one API and it's take more time, that time you are getting a 504 status code, gateway timeout status code. After that we have a 505 status code, so it is for a HTTP version not supported status code. 505 it is for that. So these all are server side status code. So 500 series it is for a server side error status code. So in API testing we have a 100 series, 200, 300, 400, 500 series of status code. सो अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा हो, आपके लिए हेल्पफुल लगा हो, तो प्लीज़ वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए और कमेंट में ज़रूर बताइए कि आपको वीडियो कैसा लगा, और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर कर दीजिए। मैं डेली सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टिंग के जॉब्स के वीडियो भी डालती हूँ, तो प्लीज़ चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए। थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग द वीडियो।